On va donc tester Assemble with Care. Assembler avec soin. Donc un jeu pas le vu en fait, semblerait d'après le chat. Moi je l'avais pas encore fait, donc on va découvrir ça. Ça a l'air chill, c'est fait par les créateurs de Monument Valley. En ce moment, au moment où j'y joue, il est à 2,60. Normalement il est à 6,50. Bon, bref, pas cher, clairement. Clairement. Peut-être baisser un peu le son, hop. Dans le truc. Oh, c'est mignon, hein. C'est joli déjà. J'aime bien. Hop, screenshot, c'est parti. Oh, ça a l'air si chill. J'adore.
After a year on the road, I thought I'd get tired of traveling. The endless clatter of railways, highways, and everything in between. But as my train pulled into the station at Bellariva, I felt every bit as excited as the first day of my journey. A whole year. It felt like a lifetime. The places I'd seen, the people I'd met, of course, the forgotten treasures I'd given a new lease of life along the way. I'm a restorer by trade. Bringing our most beloved possessions back to life is what I love to do. I'd been traveling for months, working my way from one town to the next, fixing everything from family heirlooms to VCRs.
On fait plein de choses ici. Que steak, non, ouais. Tu vois, par exemple, demain matin, je vais faire du Final Fantasy. Plus mainstream.
Bellariva was my chance to take a break. Unfortunately, that would have to wait until after I'd unpacked.
Mais ouais, je me ferme pas du tout, j'aime bien découvrir des titres indés, des petits trucs moins mainstream justement. Ils sont souvent des bonnes surprises. Et qui en général ont beaucoup d'originalité. Qu'est-ce que c'est faire moi? Alors je veux bien. Est-ce que je mets pas la valise au bon endroit? Fin du jeu, pas réussi à ouvrir la valise, c'est exactement ça. Je vais peut-être la tourner. Ah! Je pouvais la maintenir. Ok. Ouh!
My favorite overalls. These will never go out of style.
En fait, c'est parce que j'ai maintenu. Il faut juste cliquer. Jeu trop dur. Je rigole. J'aime bien ce genre de jeu là. On range et tout.
I picked up these sunglasses on my last stop. Hopefully I'm cool enough to pull them off. My passport. Not many blank pages left now. Looking forward to taking more close-ups of my fingers with this. I'll hand these out once I'm settled in. Fingers crossed they get me some work.
Quand j'avais juste dit ce jeu de pirate, t'avais fait semblant de t'intéresser à ma remarque, je me souviens qu'il n'y a pas. Je ne pense pas que... J'ai probablement pas eu le temps de le faire. Tu vois, tout arrive.
Finally, I'd made it to Bellariva. I'd come for the food festival, taking place in a few days' time. After living off TV dinners and instant ramen for the last few months, I was craving a decent meal.
Je speak vraiment. Oublie pas cette machine.
Of course, I'd need to earn enough money to pay for it, so I figured I'd head out the next day and find some work. My parents never wanted me to go. They wanted me to stay in their shop and have a simple, stationary life. I knew there was a world out there, beyond the four walls of our antique store, that I had to be a part of. I daydreamed constantly about the weird and wonderful places each of our antiques came from. I loved figuring out their stories, revealing the memories hidden beneath the screws and wires. My story in Bellariva began with a little girl and a voice she was longing to hear. It was my first morning in Bellariva, and I couldn't wait to leave my hotel and explore. It was a quiet town, its streets and alleyways basking peacefully in the hot morning sun.
C'est gentil, Kipstack.
In the main square, meanwhile, preparations were underway for the festival in a few days' time. As I handed out my flyers, I wondered what the people of Bellariva would need me to fix. So far, everything here seemed perfect.
Merci beaucoup, Obsid, pour ton subgift, Kipstack. Merci énormément.
I was starting to worry I'd made a mistake when I felt someone tapping me on the back.
Hi, I'm Izzy. Do you know how to fix things?
It was a little girl, maybe 7 years old, who must have gotten hold of one of my flyers. She rummaged around in her backpack until she hauled out a battered red cassette deck.
My tape is broken and I can't make it work anymore. I tried to fix it myself, but there's this metal thing in the way. Can you try?
Ça dépend, t'as de l'argent? On va rembobiner avec ça, là, regardez. Là. Mais pour l'instant, on peut pas. Peut-être parce qu'il faut l'amener au milieu. Voilà. Ensuite, on rembobine.
Why did you do that?
C'est la technique. Ah, hop.
How did you do that? I didn't see.
Ok. Ensuite. Oh, c'est bien, hein, j'aime bien, j'aime bien. Je suis trop jeune, du coup j'ai bloqué longtemps là-dessus. Je te crois pas.
Aha! Those batteries look like they need replacing. Luckily, I have some spares.
Les contrôles sont pas les plus intuitifs, genre pour tourner, il faut que j'aille ici en fait, au lieu d'être sur l'objet. Mais bon, je pense qu'on s'y fait, c'est pas trop gênant, c'est trop beau par contre. C'est satisfaisant visuellement. Il manque la... Elle est où la vis? Ah, elle est là-haut. Bien joué. C'est bien ça, elle est prévoyante, hein. Hop.
Will you dream a dream for me? If I sit by your side and hold you so tight, know that...
When it finished, Izzy picked up the tape deck and tucked it carefully into her backpack.
Thanks, Maria. You're the best person at fixing things ever.
No problem. Who was that singing? They're
Non,
very
maman
good.
morte. Je sens bien un truc comme ça.
It's my mum.
Oh, c'est
She's
vraiment
not
ça.
here anymore.
Izzy trailed off. It was the kind of silence a cassette tape would never be enough
Sa
to
tête, elle est trop blasée. En mode... Ah, putain... Tais-toi.
When Izzy's friends called for her, she dug deep into her pockets, looking for something to pay me with. Eventually, she produced a grand total of a stick of gum, 3 mismatched buttons, and a yo-yo. I usually preferred a check, but Izzy looked so serious, I wrote out a full receipt. She seemed like a happy kid, but beneath it all, part of her life had been shattered. A part I wouldn't be able to fix. My first repair complete, I spent the rest of the day doing small jobs in and around the square. I was exhausted when I got back to my hotel and found a message asking me to make one more visit. The address led me to a quaint little house, a stone's throw from the beach. Bathed in the evening light, it looked beautiful, in spite of its flaking paintwork and chipped tiles.
Ça fait longtemps qu'on n'avait pas fait des jeux comme ça, n'empêche avec l'actu qu'il y a eu ultra chargé. On a manqué.
The front door was opened by a harried-looking man, still dressed from a long day at the office.
Are you Maria? My name's Joseph. I'm Isabel's father. I'm so sorry she bothered you this morning. Please, come in. I'd like to settle up properly.
On the mantelpiece, I saw the remains of a broken statue. Without thinking, I picked up a fragment.
Sur Speedon, moi c'était... Mais j'ai pas du tout vu, hein. J'ai vu que quelques trucs. Il y a des trucs que je voulais voir dans la mise samedi et dimanche, mais c'était genre à 4h du mat. Mais c'était la run de Dark Souls 3 par Chemist, qui commentait en même temps, qui animait de ouf. Et je trouvais ça top, et d'ailleurs ça se ressent donc beaucoup là. Alors déjà c'est trop bien dans Speedon de voir des speedrunners français du coup. Ça met en avant aussi la commune française. Et de voir que du fait du stream, beaucoup de speedrunners maintenant sont aussi animateurs en fait. Et ça rend ça tellement satisfaisant à suivre. Bah, si tu veux, du coup, t'as vu, ils ont dit qu'ils avaient mis les rotifs en direct, hein, donc quasiment instantanément. Donc je te laisse check, c'est Dark Souls 3 que c'était. Ils ont une chaîne Speedon, je crois.
My father's statue. What's left of it, at least. Yet another way I'd have disappointed him.
De beaux objets qu'il sait.
It survived 100 years in this family. But 5 minutes with Isabel and... Do you think you can salvage it? Will you be able to see the glue afterwards? I don't want people seeing the cracks.
Oula. Ça... C'est violent, là. Ok, alors attends. Pas qu'on fasse n'importe quoi. Ah merde, on avait le socle là. Ça, c'était bien le socle. Je pense que c'est mieux de mettre le socle d'abord. Vas-y. J'ai un peu embêté pour la glu là. On peut pas la... en plat dans l'eau là. Voilà. Une catastrophe, hein. Cours. Catastrophe.
Sometimes I think my daughter should come with a warning label.
Ça passe, ça passe. Ça va. Jeu gentil. Il veut pas coller ça dessus? Ça m'a l'air d'être le bon truc, mais... Attention. Hop. Ok. Alors, je sais pas si c'est celui-là ou l'autre. Ouais, c'est... Ah bah. Allez. Ouais. Et...
Is this glue really strong enough to hold everything together? Thank you, Maria. It looks as perfect as it ever did. My father wanted me to make something of myself. He didn't have time for anything less.
Bah du coup c'est pas mal comment ils font Mazedra parce qu'en fait c'est entre les runs ou dans les temps morts des runs. Ils lisent quelques donations, ce qui est plutôt cool pour souligner quand même le message des gens et en général ils lisent les trucs marrants ou marquants. Et pendant les runs, il n'y a pas... Tiens, on laisse la place au speedrun.
As Joseph put the statue back on the shelf, it nudged
Raiders
against the family
detected.
portrait stood proudly
Welcome
next
and
to
enjoy
it.
your stay.
So he was Bellariva's mayor. And that was Izzy's mom. They must both miss her so much.
Merci Oran pour ton aide. Bienvenue les gens.
Sorry. I'm a little tired. I've been working late getting things sorted for the festival. There's only a few days to go. Looks like I'll be working late.
Comment ça va? À quoi est-ce que tu jouais? Bienvenue en tout cas.
When I told my parents I wanted to leave, they always found an excuse to be busy, to avoid talking about it. I guess keeping themselves occupied was their way of pretending it wasn't happening. Joseph's work must have been taking up so much of his time. But maybe that was what he wanted. I just hoped he was finding enough time for Izzy, too.
Je fais de la programmation des shaders pour être précis. D'accord. De la programmation... Mais du coup, tu bosses sur un projet en particulier? Ou c'était de l'entraînement? Bienvenue, c'est les gens, si jamais hop. Vous voulez voir ça, n'hésitez pas à les follow juste ici. Je crée un jeu pour le plaisir, c'est pas mon boulot. Cool, trop bien. Plus dans quel style du coup? Vas-y, raconte. Pas sauf si tu veux garder la surprise, t'as le droit.
My second day in Bellariva dawned bright and clear. Another beautiful sunny morning. Walking into town, I passed cafes overflowing with customers cradling their morning coffees. I stopped, breathing in the smell of roasted coffee beans and freshly baked pastries.
RPG tactique en 2D inspiré par Minecraft, ok. Il est jamais trop tard, hein, les stocks. Après, il faut mettre en place les choses, quoi. Comme fait Oran, à côté du taf.
I was about to go inside when the owner of Carmen's, the cafe next door, stopped me.
Hello, Maria? Were you here yesterday handing out flyers? I have a job for you.
Her place was petite, tucked between its competitors as if hoping they wouldn't notice. Judging by the empty tables inside, though, her potential customers hadn't noticed it either.
It's a bit slow today, but we're just getting started. I'm sure it'll pick up soon.
As Carmen chatted, she walked over to the counter and returned with an old rotary phone.
J'aimerais que ce soit des trucs old school.
At least I've got plenty of time to practice my recipe for the festival. It's a new special I've been working on. I was hoping to call my sister for some, seasoning tips, but it won't connect.
Tout permis, du coup, faut que tu puisses mettre ton lien si tu veux, Oran.
Can you see if you can figure out what's wrong?
Je vais figure out. Oh! Radio. Ouvrons la bête.
Obviously, we'd normally be much busier than this. You can fix it, can't you? I can't afford to replace it.
Attends, pas de dire des bêtises. Non! Attends, comment j'enlève lui là? Voilà. Ça avance. Hop. Très satisfaisant. Hein. Oh là, la carte, elle est morte.
These connections aren't quite right. I should check the wiring.
Oui, non, mais il nous manque un câble là. Ah, il est là le câble, ok. Il me disait ça.
Looks like this new circuit board is all hooked up.
Attends, parce que c'est pas fini. Trop bien ce jeu. Très satisfaisant. J'aime beaucoup. J'aime déjà bien faire ce genre de choses dans la vraie vie, donc trop bien. En plus avec des trucs dont j'ai besoin. Hein. Je m'amuse pas à réparer des objets pour les gens. Mais... écoute, avec plaisir. Y'a pas de soucis.
Still a few parts missing.
Par contre, on voit que c'est un jeu moderne. Hein. Le backseat, toujours le backseat.
When I handed the phone back to Carmen, she seemed almost reluctant to take it from me.
So it's all working now, is it? I don't have to leave it to dry or let it cool down?
C'est chiant.
Ready to go. It'll be ringing off the hook in no time.
That's if I can pay my phone bill anyway. And the rent and the suppliers. Anyway, take a seat and I'll be right with you. Your coffee's on the house.
I sat at one of the empty tables, while at the counter, Carmen had started dialing the phone.
Hello? How's my favorite?
As she talked,
J'ai pas fait exprès.
Carmen
Pardon.
became more and more tense. This didn't seem like a call for some cooking advice.
I know I still owe you from last time, but I can't afford to take part in the festival if I don't pay.
I could almost feel the eye roll at the other end of the line.
You don't need to be here, though. Can't you just put the check in the post?
When the call ended, Carmen brought me my coffee, her hands trembling.
Sorry about that. My sister's decided to fly in for a visit. Oh God, I have to get ready. Actually, I might have another job for you. Can you come by tomorrow?
Allez. Ah, il y a pas mal de niveaux, c'est cool. Il avait l'air assez court, mais il y a quand même... Voilà.
The next day, I'd promised Carmen I'd return to help her get the cafe ready for her sister's arrival. I was about to set out when I received an unexpected call from my hotel's reception desk. Apparently, another guest had asked for me by name. Curious, I took the creaking elevator up to the top floor and made my way to the room number they'd given. I knocked.
Are you here about the camera?
The woman in front of me was immaculate. Not a hair out of place or a crease to be seen.
My sister tells me you know how to fix things. I'd usually go to an expert, of course, but in this town...
So this was Carmen's sister? The two of them couldn't have been more different. Inside her room, I saw a beautiful reflex camera, any professional photographer's dream.
The viewfinder is completely dark. I can't see anything through it at all. I assume you can figure out what's wrong?
No.
You need the manual.
Bah ça va, elle juge de fou. Elle juge de fou. Le jugement. De toute façon, on va tout dévisser. Pour commencer.
I don't suppose you've fixed anything this valuable before.
Elle m'énerve, hein. Elle va se calmer tout de suite, Véronique.
If I use the screwdriver, I could adjust the angle of the mirror.
Oui, mais effectivement, ceci étant, pas besoin du manuel, mais... Dans l'autre sens, merci.
Perfect. Now the viewfinder should be working.
C'est pas là qu'il va. Laisse-moi vérifier. Ah, c'est là. Non? Hop. Ah, j'ai ASMR un peu. Un peu, hein? Ah, ça va être embêtant parce qu'en fait... Je pense que si je veux mettre la pellicule... Je redémonte ça. Non? J'ai pas accès. J'ai un doute. Peut-être avec lui. Voilà. J'ai quand même redémonté le miroir au final pour voir. Pas bien compliqué à revoir. J'ai du mal à le caler. Hein. Il veut pas me mettre la pellicule dans le truc. Il y a forcément moyen d'accéder. Bon, écoutez, pour l'instant, je vais mettre ça, on va voir ce qu'elle en dit. Ça se met peut-être à la fin, en fait. Hein. Faut peut-être pas se prendre la tête. Ouais, parce que c'est pas précis. Hop. En même temps, t'es pas censé avoir besoin de toute façon de dévisser pour mettre la pellicule. De base.
Still a few parts missing.
Je la mettais du mauvais côté, attendez. Ah, mais oui, je la mettais du mauvais côté. Putain. C'est good. Je pense quand même qu'il fallait qu'il soit monté pour que je puisse le faire. En fait, il fallait qu'il soit monté et que je le mette à gauche. Ça paraît cohérent.
I felt a pang of envy as I handed the camera to Helena. I put my disposable to shame.
Ouais, c'était à la fin.
I picked it up on my first trip to Paris. It's a 1958 limited edition, the first of its kind. It cost me 3 months' salary, but it was worth it.
Ouais, c'est bien. J'aime bien
I
comment
had
c'est
no
fait.
idea what 3 months' salary meant to Helena, but I was pretty sure it was more than I could afford. It was strange, really, that we were even staying in the same hotel. I'd picked this place because it was cheap and cheerful, but surely she could afford somewhere better? She took some test shots, fiddling with the camera settings until she was absolutely satisfied.
This work is immaculate. At least there's one person in this town who knows what they're doing. Sending you to me might be the first thing Carmen's actually gotten right.
I wondered why
Désagréable,
Helena
hein?
bothered coming if she thought so little of her sister.
I hear nothing from her for weeks, and then when she finally does call me, all she wants is money. If she thinks I'm lending her another penny, she'll have to convince me it's not a total waste of time.
That didn't sound good. If Hurricane Helena was about to hit, I hoped Carmen was ready.
Bip bip. Ça y est, on voit où est le... Oh.
The sun was setting over Bellariva by the time I reached Carmen's cafe. From the outside, it looked as quiet as ever, but inside, I found Carmen cleaning like her life depended on it.
Maria! Oh, don't mind all of this. If Helena finds one speck of dust in here, I'll never hear the end of it.
Carmen seemed pleased to see me, but I sensed the fidgeting tension beneath each sweep of her mop. Trying to live up to the standards of someone like Helena seemed like an impossible task.
I hope you didn't mind fixing the camera for her. She was furious when it broke. I really need this to go well. If she doesn't lend me the money, I don't know how long I can keep this place going.
Carmen led me to a back room, where she'd laid out the components of what looked like a neon sign.
I had this made when I first opened the cafe, but I'm hopeless with electronics.
So there was supposed to be a sign outside. This might explain the lack of customers.
I'd like to put it up before Helena gets here. Can you give it a try?
Allez. Alors... Ici. Non mais, tourne-toi. Hop. Je pensais qu'il y aurait ça à mettre. Tac, tac. On dirait quand même un petit peu que ça va là. Mais en fait non. C'est quand même bizarre. Allez, colle-toi. Tu peux le faire. Ouais. On va sur lui plus. Oh non! Ah oui, bien. Ça c'est fait. Fallait peut-être les... Parce qu'on a de la glu. Est-ce qu'il y a un besoin de glu ou est-ce que ça va aller? Je pense que ça va aller. Toujours pas ça. Bon, il y a ça, mais du coup, beaucoup moins quoi. Attends. Là. J'arrive quand même. Si je remets ça, on n'est pas rendu quoi. Alors. On a autre chose. Ah, peut-être que je peux le mettre après. Non. Ah ah. Pardon, je vais le faire. Ah, mais peut-être que je peux... Attends. Oh là, pardon. Ah, j'ai quand même très envie de mettre... Ah, je sais. C'est bon, j'ai. Voilà, un très beau tracé de glu. Voilà. Merveilleux. Alors du coup, il a rien à faire là, lui. Attends. Ok.
bit.
Non mais il manque une vis, mais c'était pour
Maybe
tester.
if it flashes, it'll really catch people's eye.
Great idea. I think I have a spare part that could do that.
Allez, pardon, j'ai pas tout. Il fallait le gluer le truc. Hop. Voici, on sait. Combien de glu? Oui. Ah, c'est vraiment ça. Attends. Ah, peut-être là, plutôt. C'est bien.
It still needs something else. Maybe we can add one of these.
J'ai senti, attention, on va pouvoir remettre la vis à cause de la phrase d'étienne. Exact. Elle va pas être contente, hein, j'ai pas encore mis le reste.
I think the whole thing is supposed to light up.
Ouais, je sais. C'est moi qui choisissais? Alors je vais te mettre une part de pizza là. Je trouve ça motivant, c'est pas mal.
It works. I'll screw everything together again and you'll be set.
Bzzzt.
The sign fixed, we headed outside and mounted it carefully over the cafe door.
Oh, that's perfect, Maria. It looks just how I imagined it. When I had this sign made, it all seemed so simple. Oh, I can't believe I might have to give it all up. I hope I've done enough.
The smile froze on her face as she spotted something over my shoulder. I turned to see.
Of course, my sister owns the only cafe in this entire town that isn't
Oh, mais
actually open.
For better or
insupportable,
worse,
Elena.
Helena had arrived.
Mets une tarte.
Carmen opened her mouth to explain, but Helena swept indifferently past her.
C'est pas gentil.
Finally pausing in the doorway, she turned back towards Carmen.
The first thing we're doing is getting rid of that hideous sign.
Bitch.
And with that, she disappeared inside. I hoped Carmen's chances of saving the cafe hadn't disappeared with her.
Non mais... Saloperie. Bon, attends, on va faire une petite pause de 2 secondes ici. Trop bien, ça a l'air trop bien comme chapitre ça. Let's go. Petite Game Boy Advance SP.
It was the day before the festival, and the whole town was busy getting ready. I had more work than I knew what to do with. When Joseph called with another job, I was craving the cool quiet of his and Izzy's seafront house. I'd barely reached their front door when I heard someone calling me.
Psst. Maria, I need your help. Quickly, it's top secret.
It was Izzy, peeking out from the side of the house. She beckoned for me to follow her. She led me through to a beautiful, unruly garden overflowing with flowers of every color. Nestled among them was a playhouse, its doorway almost completely obscured by a towering rose bush.
You have to squeeze past it and breathe in real small, like this.
Izzy took in a big gulp of air and crawled through the gap and into the playhouse. I hadn't planned on crawling in the dirt today, but the life of a repairwoman never did run smooth.
Je suis pas en mode fan comme peut l'être par exemple Alpha Cast. Oupsie. C'est gentil, Scoomax, trop gentil. Bah, c'est le jeu qui fait tout, hein. Moi je fais rien.
On the table inside, there was an electronic toy. Not exactly the usual stock in my parents' antique shop.
I had an accident. I didn't do it on purpose or anything, but it won't turn on anymore. Can you fix it for me?
Yes, I can. Oh, on a un petit truc là, c'est pour mettre du cutter sans que ça... Oh là là! What a game! Oh, la touche A qui est déglinguée. Bon. Paf. On n'a pas besoin d'enlever ça, mais bon. Alors. Donc on a la carte son qui est cassée. Ok. Oh merde, l'écran! Oh, c'est l'histoire pour l'écran. Ah mince, il y a là aussi. Mais pas que, non? Attends, on a un problème. On a perdu un câble dans l'histoire. Yeah. C'est bon. On va rentrer? Ah oui. Merci beaucoup, Sina. B. Oh, j'ai une question là. Ah. Voilà.
Do grown-ups play games as well?
Merci beaucoup.
Can you show me how to play? I tried before, but it was so hard.
Her toy fixed, I watched Izzy retreat into its screen, taking refuge in a 3-inch world of her own. Well, I'd better head inside. Your dad is waiting for me.
Please don't tell him about the game. He'll think I broke it on purpose.
Why would he think that?
Because, well, I kind of dropped it.
Ah bah d'accord, c'est une rageuse.
At the wall.
C'est une rageuse.
Izzy looked down, scuffing her shoes on the worn floor of the playhouse.
Non, elle rageait pas.
My dad said I have to go to this
Tu me vois
stupid
rager?
festival tomorrow and put on a stupid dress. And I don't want to. All he cares about is working. He never wants to see me unless it's for his job. I'm not going. He can't make me.
J'ai déjà ragé au tout début de Destiny sur du PVP en off. Et sur Call of Duty, j'ai ragé, ouais. Ça dépend si c'est des crapauds.
With that, Izzy dove back through the rosebush and disappeared into the wilds of the
Ghetto,
garden.
ghetto, ghetto,
She
ghetto.
was so young. She couldn't be expected to see that her dad was struggling too.
Ghetto, 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 ghetto.
It made me think. Had I really tried hard enough to understand my parents' point of view? I was so focused on the adventures ahead of me. Maybe I didn't care enough about leaving them behind.
Nous montre. Sympa ce jeu en tout cas.
Leaving Izzy hiding in the garden, I walked around to the front of the house and rang the doorbell. It was only then I noticed my favorite overalls covered in grass stains. I scrubbed desperately, but it was too late.
Maria, what are you doing? What happened to your clothes?
I was, repairing a lawnmower.
How unusual. Well, do come in. The job I've got for you is a little more delicate.
Totally embarrassed, I walked into an orderly room filled with papers and ledgers. So this was his office.
Ultra chill, c'est clair.
You must be so busy getting ready for the festival. Are you looking forward to it?
Of course. It's traditional for the mayor to judge food from every cafe and restaurant in town. I'll be declaring the best chef in Bella Riva by this time tomorrow. Speaking of which...
He unclipped the watch from his wrist and very carefully handed it to me.
I'll have a tight schedule to follow, but my watch stopped working a while ago. Could you see if you can make it tick again?
Alors,
Are you
putain,
sure it will all fit back together?
Bah oui, j'espère. Écoute. Tu m'inquiètes, Tony? Alors là, faut faire attention. Je vais retirer ça. Ah, ça va. Oh.
Ah, the main plate has
Ah.
completely cracked. I'll need to replace it.
Comme elle a dit. Ah.
The cogs look good though. If I'm careful, I can reuse those.
Eh ben. Alors attends. Voilà. Un spécial. J'avais plusieurs positions pour lui? Non, j'avais que là. Ah, ça se met à la fin probablement. Mais d'avis que ça se met à la fin. Tic tac, tic tac. Tic tac, tic tac. Et ça par-dessus. Ah non? Le petit par-dessus. Ah. Ces trous-là, ah, peut-être par rapport à ça. Ah, c'est bon. Ah oui. Tac tac, on est bon. Petit screenshot là, c'est joli ça.
I've not gone a day without this watch since my wife gave it to me.
Si, c'est ici, arrête. Oh, c'est écrit Love Always dessus. Je vais chialer.
As I handed the watch back to Joseph, my fingers traced over the engraving on the back. I hoped fixing this was one small way I could help him move forward.
I can't believe it's working, Maria. Thank you. My wife was a brilliant woman. Feeling this ticking on my wrist, it makes me feel like she's still here. Watches measure minutes and hours like they're infinite. I didn't know we had so little time. Even with Isabel, I barely see her. And when I do, she acts like she hates me.
Bah, c'est triste, hein. Mais d'accord, Mazdra.
Just then, the phone rang. Even when he was at home, his work was never done.
Sorry, Maria. I have to take this. I'll see you at the festival tomorrow.
As I left, I turned and saw him pacing the floor of his office, his watch glinting in the afternoon sun. I hoped its quiet ticking would at least bring him some peace during the busy days to come.
Je suis du genre à m'attacher à des trucs comme ça en vrai. Pour leur signification.
When my last job of the day brought me to Carmen's apartment, the door was opened by someone I didn't expect to see, Helena.
Sorry for inflicting this mess on you. Carmen's never seen a knick-knack she doesn't want to buy, apparently.
Carmen's apartment was a little chaotic, but totally charming. It was easy to imagine her living in a place like this. It definitely wasn't Helena's style. She seemed more upmarket than flea market. I wondered why she was even here.
We're having a clear-out. Or at least I am. Carmen's not helping, as usual. There's a market at the festival tomorrow. I'm selling some of these things to make her some money. She says she has nothing when there's all this stuff right under her nose.
Helena stepped delicately past the items on the floor and reached down to pick up one from the pile.
Ouais, totalement. Moi, je trouve ça bien.
Look at this slide projector. Our parents treasured it, but Carmen treats it like a piece of junk. Can you take a look?
J'aimerais penser qu'on n'a pas fini Banishers, les gens. Va falloir qu'on s'y mette ça sérieusement. En ce moment, je suis un peu trop omnibulée par FF. Terrible. En même temps, c'est un très bon jeu. C'est un très bon jeu. Ça, c'est cassé.
Completely smashed. Okay, I'll need to redirect the light to the lens at the top for the projector to work.
Elle a dit au top, hein. Moi je mets au top, hein. C'est ça qu'elle veut. Voilà. Revise-moi ça parce que là... C'est qui Isha? Je vois pas des trous pour le câble. C'est un petit peu drôle du coup. Attendez. Ah, il y a un autre à mettre à l'intérieur, je pense. Non, il faut qu'on continue parce que j'aimais beaucoup en plus.
Oh, typical. Carmen's even managed to get a slide stuck in here.
Mais moi, je veux juste enlever ça. Faut vraiment que je le redévisse? Allez. Non, mais pas à ce point quand même. N'allons pas jusque là. Allez, dévisse-toi. Merci. Yeah. Barry. Bon, ça c'est traité. Il veut pas me... Ça faut arrêter. Hein. Ah, il y a peut-être autre chose à démonter là-dedans. Hein. Là, ça c'est pour mettre l'autre miroir, donc pas de rapport. Peut-être c'est pas grave qu'elle soit collée. Ah, mais c'est peut-être pas grave qu'elle soit coincée, hein. En vrai. Je pense que c'est ça, hein. Genre après, elle va dire ah, je me rappelle, gna gna gna, et voilà. Par contre, le câble...
I was so excited when I moved to the city. Carmen, she looks so sad.
Je crois qu'elle a baniché.
There's
Ah!
the clicker you'll need to attach. God knows how Carmen broke that as well.
Merveilleux. Clic. Ouais, ouais. Oh là, oh là. Stop, stop, stop. Ça aurait pu.
When we were younger, Carmen was always following me around. I suppose she looked up to me. A cool older sister. She used to ask me when I was coming home, but I was always too busy.
There's still a part I need to attach. Where does it go? Helena was transfixed. Staring at the two young sisters the projector had brought glaringly into focus.
Il y a un autre truc qu'on n'a pas fini. Attendez. Il y a Banisher, il y a quoi? Attends, attends. Un truc que j'ai pas fini. On a le let's play de Nightingale qui est en cours, faut que je mette l'épisode d'ailleurs. Ah oui, voilà, Last Epoch, faut que je finisse la campagne de Last Epoch.
I never meant to let her down.
But you haven't, have you? You came all this way just to help with the cafe. Plus the money.
Dans une ou deux sessions, on a fini Last Epoch.
That's the problem. There is no money. I lost my job a few months ago.
Ah non!
My savings are almost gone. I have nothing.
Ah dur!
Common things, I'll throw my checkbook at her bad decisions and make them okay. But I can't. Not this time.
Oh, c'est marrant, les... Vous parlez là de si vieux que ça, tout ça. Je trouve, genre, j'en parlais encore récemment avec Jerry. Nous, on a vécu une époque où... Enfin, ça dépend quel âge vous avez, mais... Les gens comme mon âge, en tout cas. Où il n'y avait pas Internet, il n'y avait pas d'ordinateur. Enfin, moi, j'avais pas ça chez moi quand j'étais jeune. J'ai eu plus tard, quoi. Et encore, c'était l'ordi familial, et Internet, j'ai eu encore plus tard. Et du coup, bah, on était beaucoup à s'occuper IRL, quoi, finalement. Aller dehors, tout ça. Et puis on a connu tous ces trucs-là, tous ces technos, le Walkman, tout ça. Puis on a connu toute l'évolution de ouf fulgurante des smartphones, l'internet qui arrivait, tout le côté réseaux sociaux, là la VR, l'IA. On a un créneau de malade en fait en termes de progression, quoi. C'est... On a tout vu un peu, genre.
You know, the funny thing is, I came here wanting to tell her the truth. But she's so infuriating. How can I ask her for help when all she cares about is herself?
Dans tous les domaines, hein. Genre... pas genre... Pendant 18 ans, mon père il avait une 205 et maintenant il y a les Tesla, quoi. Tous les domaines. La télé, c'était pas un écran plat, c'était un gros cube. C'est devenu des écrans extra plats. Tout. La dernière génération a revu la voie internet. Ouais, et ça fait un truc fulgurant parce qu'en vrai, bah, l'essor d'internet, alors ça a amené beaucoup de choses, que ce soit négatif ou positif. Et il y a plein de négatifs d'ailleurs, comme je vous disais, les réseaux sociaux, tout ça, c'est pas forcément le positif, mais ça a amené aussi énormément d'échanges qui, à mon avis, ont favorisé le fait qu'on progresse aussi vite, en fait, d'un coup. Ça a été encore plus vecteur de progrès sur les technologies. C'est assez impressionnant, quoi.
Helena fell silent, shrinking under the gaze of her younger self, projected onto the wall.
On a vécu l'explosion du truc, quoi.
It felt like the only thing keeping us together was my bank balance.
On a eu des téléphones qui affichaient 3 lignes de texte pour ensuite, là, avoir des iPhones, quoi. C'est fou. C'est dingue.
I know I have to tell her the truth. It isn't fair. But I already lost everything else. What if I lose her too?
Oh non, c'est triste. Même chose avec... La dernière fois, on regardait un film il y a quelques jours là avec Jerry. Le gars cherchait un numéro dans le bottin. Nous, on a connu les bottins où on cherchait les numéros. C'est ouf en vrai. Enfin, quand tu essaies de resituer avec actuellement, si tu cherches le numéro d'un truc, tu tapes son nom et c'est bon. C'est hallucinant. Et les cabines avec les... Moi, c'était carte à puce. Quand j'ai utilisé le cabine téléphonique.
The smell as I entered the main square was incredible. Each stall was selling food even more delicious than the last. The competition would start any minute. Most stall holders were waiting anxiously for the mayor to pay them a visit.
C'est assez fou. Parce qu'on avance avec notre temps, donc on n'y pense pas forcément... Genre on s'arrête pas forcément à se dire putain c'est ouf en vrai ce qu'on a vécu.
All of them, that was, except Carmen, who was still frantically chopping vegetables and stirring pots.
Maria! Thank God you're here.
Voilà,
Can I ask
on
you the
va
world's
réparer un
biggest
chalumeau.
favour?
Une plaque à gaz, je ne sais pas.
Helena was supposed
Ça
to
a l'air
help me run
d'être un
the store
chalumeau.
today, but she never turned up. Probably too ashamed to show her face. I can't believe she lied to me.
Carmen was stirring so furiously, she was in danger of tipping the pot over altogether.
The mayor will be here any minute for the judging, but I'm almost out of my special.
She wasn't really going to ask me, was she? Not on my day off.
I have a stove ready to build and everything. Can you set it up and make me a spare batch?
Oh bah, on va faire de la soupe. Lol. Conversation dure, waouh. Après c'est, tiens ça. Aussi justement avoir le recul, on prend un peu tout pour acquis. C'est bien d'avoir ce vécu où on a vécu énormément de choses différentes. Alors, il nous faut une demi-pinte, un quart de stick ou la moitié d'un... T'en vois rien.
Oh, her recipe is a bit smudged. Never mind,
Des
I'm sure whatever I
brocolis,
put in will be fine.
des tomates, des mushrooms et plein d'amour. Alors c'est quoi le... Alphe? On va voir. C'est une herbe. Bon. Parlons peu, parlons bien. On doit assembler ce truc-là. Déjà. Pas ça. Pas ça. Ça, forcément, ça va avec. Hein. Ok, parfait. Ça chope pas le truc. Peut-être le laurier, le truc qui est...
It all fits. Now to light the gas.
Attends, on la refait. Attends. Ok, c'est good. Attends, par contre, ça m'inquiète, hein. Mais pourquoi il veut pas prendre ça? Ah, tu veux peut-être le mettre dedans d'abord. Ah. Les contrôles m'en veulent. Hein. Ok,
I think
ça
that
vous.
pot is really boiling now. Smells great if I say so myself. Here are the ingredients that Carmen's given me. What to add first?
Ouais, moi, vélo, foot, tennis. En vrai. Beaucoup dehors. Hein. Je pas mal dehors. Je sais pas mal aussi de... À l'intérieur de la maison, tout ce qui est, bah, justement, bricole. Bricole, dessin. Comme ça. Alors. Je pense qu'il nous faut un quart de ça. Allez. Bien beurré. La moitié... Ah, d'une carotte. Voilà. 3 brocolis. Ok.
That looks good. I'll scoop a spoonful when I'm ready to serve.
Oh bah attends, c'est pas prêt. Arrête de me saouler. Des tomates coupées. Après, alpha carotte, elle était pas censée être sliced. Hein. Donc, j'ai peut-être merdé. 3 champignons. Attends, 3 entiers. Ok. Plein d'amour. Ou alors onion. Mais je pense que c'est plenty of love. Boum.
My part done, Carmen took over and added the finishing touches.
Bien joué.
It was just in time, and a moment later, Joseph arrived with Izzy in tow. Carmen anxiously handed them both a serving.
That was so tasty. Can I have some more, please?
Bah j'ai suivi la recette, Magitra. Le plein de love, pourquoi il fallait faire quoi normalement?
Well, you've certainly earned yourself a loyal customer in my daughter. We have a few more meals to taste, but so far you are one of the best.
Je plaisante, ok. Je me disais merde, j'ai raté une étape. J'ai mis tout mon amour, vous l'avez juste pas vu.
Maybe the festival was doing them some good after all. Carmen, on the other hand, seemed annoyed. But why, when it had all gone so well?
I wish Helena was here to see this. She's so convinced I'll never succeed at anything.
She wants what's best for you. She's just not very tactful about it.
Yes, I know. Even when I was a kid, she pushed me when no one else did. I just wish she hadn't lied to me. But then, I've asked so much of her over the years. I never stopped to think how much she actually had to give.
The festival finished. I only had one day left before I had to catch my train and leave Bellariva behind. I couldn't go without saying goodbye to Carmen. So, that evening, I made my way to the cafe. It was unrecognizable. She'd done it. Best food in Bellariva.
Let's go.
Half the town was outside waiting to see what the fuss was about.
Maria! My favorite sous chef! Come on through!
It was Carmen, acting every inch the successful cafe owner she deserved to be. Even Helena was there, serving the coffees. This was the last place I expected to see her after yesterday's drama. Carmen led me through to a balcony upstairs, where she brought out an old record player.
I found out where Helena was on the day of the festival. She was selling her camera to clear the cafe's debts. But then she didn't have much left for herself. So, I've asked her to come and stay with me for a while. We have a lot of catching up to do. I wanted to give her this, to cheer her up. We listened to it all the time when we were kids. Do you think it has one last tune in it?
Okay, let's see what happens when we turn this on. The speaker isn't connected properly. I should check the wiring.
On a eu de la chance, c'était la bonne taille de disque.
Here's the problem. This wiring isn't connected properly.
Mais, donne-moi l'autre. Voilà.
If I turn the volume up, I should be able to hear it now. The speaker isn't connected properly. I should check the wiring.
Oh, est-ce qu'il y a là aussi? Lui, il est connecté à rien. Mais bon, vas-y. On la retente.
The speaker isn't connected properly. I should check the wiring.
Non, stop.
Isn't connected properly.
Oui, mais ben on a compris. À l'aide. Ok, déjà, j'avais pas vu ça, là.
I think that should do it. This record should play beautifully. It's spinning the wrong way. How can I get it to play? Let's see if one of these stairs can turn things.
Stop. Stop. Ah, c'est bon. Allez. Je regarde ce qu'il y a. De toute façon, on va essayer. Ah! Ah bah c'est le bon. Vous n'avez pas le bon. Mais comment ils peuvent avoir le mauvais? Qu'est-ce que c'est que cette histoire?
Well, it's playing in the right direction. I should check it's turning at the correct speed.
Moi j'ai eu ça récemment, il y a 2 ans, mon anniversaire. C'est pas beaucoup, mais... Mais j'ai... ok. Et elle a dit quoi? Pardon, j'ai rien écouté. Ah oui.
The record player's crackling tune must have caught Helena's ear, as she appeared a few moments later.
Is that my old record player? I can't believe you've kept it all these years, Carmen.
Leaning over the music, they looked just like the young sisters the slide projector had preserved all these years, inseparable once again. Carmen told me about your camera. That was a really generous thing to do.
I loved that camera, but I love my sister more. Now it's her time to be the person she wants to be. I'm going to stay here with her for a while. Make up for lost time.
Carmen and Helena's relationship wasn't suddenly going to be perfect, but they were both prepared to try.
Aww.
And to think, it had all started because of a call Carmen made about some seasoning tips. I guess in the end, maybe it wasn't so hard to just pick up the phone and dial. I hadn't spoken to my own parents in a year. I wanted to hear their voices more than anything. But the silence between us was so cavernous. I didn't know how I'd ever find the words to bridge it. My final morning in Bella Riva, I received one last call out to Joseph and Izzy's house. I knew I had to pack, but I figured I could squeeze in one final job before I had to leave. When I arrived, I found Joseph tidying up his wilderness of a garden. The playhouse was already cleared. Inside, I could see Izzy happily testing out her screw-driving skills on the back of her cassette deck.
You've made quite the impression. Izzy, tells me she's going to be a repairwoman like Maria.
I'm sure she could be anything she wanted if she put her mind to it.
Mais ouais, ça aussi là.
She could. She's a brilliant child. Spending the day with her at the festival, I haven't had so much fun in ages. I wanted to give her something before she starts to forget.
Inside, the house was transformed, flooded with light and the sounds of the garden. It felt alive again. This would be my last repair in Valeriva, but it felt like it was the house that had really been restored.
It's a music box. It used to play beautifully, but now when I wind it up, nothing happens. I'd love for Izzy to hear it sing again. Can you help?
Effectivement, ça marche pas des masses. Oh. Vraiment un très beau jeu en tout cas.
Maria, could you add this family picture of us?
Bien sûr que je peux. Je peux tout faire, tu sais. Les gens, c'est passé vite. Hein. Il est 2 h du matin, du coup je ferai pas le 3e jeu aujourd'hui, je pense. Parce que j'aurais peur de devoir couper. Et j'ai potentiellement envie de tout faire d'affilée. Et je pense qu'il y en a pour 3 h l'autre jeu, un truc comme ça. Il y a 2 épisodes. On va se le garder pour une autre session. Sinon ça va trop me décaler, j'ai pas trop envie. C'était bien là, ouais. C'est grave bien. Je suis contente d'avoir fait 2 jeux en entier. Très cool. Trahison de plus. J'ai fait me coucher tard exprès. Non mais voilà quoi. Revient le problème. Ah, attends parce que...
This mechanism is completely broken. I'll need to take it all apart before I can fix it.
J'ai oublié un élément important quand même. Oh, c'est bon. Hein. Faut tester en vrai. Ouais. Faisons un test quand même. Ah! Et dans le sens du coup. Oh le piaf ne sort pas.
Still a few parts missing.
Ah ah! Là. Oh, qu'il est mignon en plus. Je peux le mettre dans l'autre sens, ça? Ça c'est censé fonctionner du coup. Je vérifie qu'il n'y a pas ça à mettre, mais je pense pas. Je me demande comment c'est censé le déclencher. Bon, écoutez, dans l'immédiat, je vais le ranger dedans, puis on verra bien. On verra ce qu'elle en dit. Peut-être ça va fonctionner. Hein.
Still a few parts missing.
Un petit problème quand même. Hein. Truc qui flippe pas là. Non, nous laissons tourner, ça change rien. Ah! Ah non, j'ai cru. Je tente des trucs là. Attends. Peut-être qu'en vrai... Oh, pourquoi tu joues à des jeux qui font peur? Elle est jolie en tout cas cette boîte à musique. Est-ce qu'on peut pas les coller dessus, tu vois? Je me dis. C'est pas un délire. Ou alors ça serait ça, j'ai mal. Ah, mais c'est ça en fait. Je pense que c'est ça. Vas-y. Il y a une roue qui tourne pas en fait. Ok. Ceci explique cela. Ok. Ah ah. Ah ah. Trop bien. Putain, les voisins qui m'entendent faire ah
mechanism is good as new.
ah ah. Let's go. On a réparé. Je suis très contente.
I think that's everything back together again. I should play it to make sure.
My wife used to sing this song to Izzy each night before bed, but I always worked too late to join them. Will you dream a dream for me if I sit by your side and hold you so tight? Know that I will always love you, even though we both know that we must say goodnight. I've missed so much already. I want to be the father my wife wanted me to be. I've ended up so much like my own father, working all the time. Izzy needs me more than that, especially now it's just the two of us. My daughter comes first. Well, until she gets bored of her stuffy old dad anyway.
I'll never ever get bored of you, Dad.
Izzy came running into the room where Joseph scooped her up and onto his shoulders. She gazed at the music box, her eyes shining. I'd never seen her look so happy.
Thank you, Maria, for everything. The things you fixed for me. I'm so glad to have them back.
Joseph was a good father, and I could tell he was determined to be an even better one. When it came down to it, that was all any of us wanted. A second chance to make something right. My time in Bellariva was almost over, but before I left, I knew there was something of my own I needed to fix. My time in Bellariva was almost at an end. Another chapter finished in a story whose ending I hadn't felt ready to write. The people I'd met, the items I'd restored, they'd taught me so much about what was really important. Pulling out my suitcase from beneath the bed, I remembered the day I stole it from my parents' shop, the day I left. Afterwards, I was too ashamed to call them, to apologize. It was a guilt I'd been carrying around every day since.
C'est un joli jeu, je trouve.
As I packed, I knew that it was up to me to find a way to lighten the load. Joseph's idea of light reading for the train. It does look thorough. The recipe for Carmen's special. I'm under strict instructions to guard it with my life. My train ticket. Can't believe it's time to leave Bellariva behind. My parents would love Bellariva. Maybe I can convince them to make the trip. My suitcase was full, but it was my heart that felt heavy as I made my way to the station. I was sorry to be leaving Bellariva behind, but I hoped that in my own small way I'd made a difference.
Je sais plus pourquoi, mais j'ai pas fait.
Helena and Carmen's reunion was possible because they'd learned to overcome their differences. Joseph had realized he shouldn't let his grief or his work get in the way of his relationship with Izzy. They'd each learned to see things from someone else's perspective. Maybe it was time I saw things through my parents' eyes. I knew it would be easier to jump on the next train, put even more distance between us, but I finally felt ready to talk to them. I just didn't know if they would feel the same.
Bonne nuit, Comax.
Did I even remember their number? I wasn't sure until
Genre
I
le
reached for the
numéro.
phone and it all came flooding back.
Moi je connais, mais je crois que j'ai pas fait le jeu, et il y avait une raison quand je l'ai pas fait.
Mom? Dad?
Maria? Is that you?
Comment on connaissait le numéro par cœur? Moi je connais tout par cœur, le numéro de mes proches. Je suis à l'ancienne. Il y a encore l'étoile, non? Oui. Ah, attends, je vérifie si j'ai Kona, du coup, Sora, parce que ça me... Pourquoi j'ai pas fait Kona? J'ai Kona, donc peut-être... Ah, pourquoi je l'ai pas fait? Je me demande si j'ai pas eu une histoire de soucis techniques. Bizarre.
Dear Maria, Carmen here. Sorry I haven't written. The cafe's been absolutely manic since you left. Luckily, I have Helena here to help. You wouldn't recognize her. She's like a new woman.
Là, si ça nous rajeunit, ça, on va laisser...
She's always running around, taking orders and making drinks. I even heard her compliment a customer on their outfit. Personally, I draw the line at fluorescent green bowling shirts, but each to their own. It certainly made the customer smile. She misses the city, though. Bellariva's many things, but it's definitely not as chic as she'd like. She said there was a coffee shop near her old apartment where they made coffee with a shape drawn on top. It got me thinking, I'm an award-winning chef. I can figure out how to put a leaf on a cappuccino. A bit of cosmopolitan coffee might be just what Helena needs. Of course, ordering a new coffee machine was the easy part. I wish you could have seen the mess I got into trying to put the thing together.
Oh, la machine à café. Oh là là.
I saw Maria use her screwdriver a million times. Taking this apart will be easy.
Attends, déjà, faut qu'on arrive à le faire tourner. Les contrôles étaient un peu... Mais bon, ça va.
These pipes look pretty
Un
simple.
macchiato.
I should start with them.
Alors là... Ok, je dois juste les connecter, ça va. Enfin, juste. L'avantage, c'est qu'il prend automatiquement les bons. Voilà.
I'll need to connect all the pipes correctly to stop the steam pouring out.
Attends! Pourquoi t'as fait ça? Trop chiant que ça fasse ça. Mais... Dès que je fais clic droit, ça... Insupportable. Ah, je pourrais dévisser ça. Attends. Ça aurait été plus simple, hein, mais bon.
That steam doesn't look good. There must be something wrong with the pipes.
Ah, parce que j'étais censée les mettre vraiment au bon endroit. Fallait le dire, hein. Ça c'est bon. Là c'est un peu chiant parce que, vous voyez, c'est un truc comme ça et j'ai pas. Ah si. Ah parfait. Mais non. Arrête un peu de faire n'importe quoi. Voilà.
Finally, no more steam.
Alors, on doit pouvoir voir ce que c'est. Ok. Mais... Voilà. Alors les 1, 2, 3 là. Merci Sora.
It doesn't seem to work unless the circuit lights are all green.
Il faut que je dévisse. Mérité Sora. On la refait. Je vais voir ce qu'il y a derrière. C'est ce que je pensais, ok. Donc je peux la mettre dans 1 si je veux, c'est pas un souci. Éclair dans 1. Enfin, courant dans 1, lumière dans 2. Et café dans 3. Comme ça. Courant dans 1. Lumière dans 2. Café dans 3. Trop bien. Oh, pardon.
Finally, no more steam.
Paf, un petit
I think
café.
that's everything. Better test the buttons just to make sure. All done. Piece of cake. Time to make my first coffee, I think. smells delicious. Now to make it look magical.
Mais... Oh.
A perfect coffee. All it needs is a saucer and a couple of Helena's favorite biscuits.
Attends, on va peut-être essayer de faire un peu mieux. Non mais ça marche pas du tout ce truc. Bon. Attends. Non, il y a un style. Il y a un style. Écoutez... C'est moderne.
Feeling more has-been than coffee queen by the time I'd made a drink fit for human consumption. It looked a bit, postmodern, but knowing Helena's refined tastes, I hope she'd think it was interesting.
Postmoderne. C'est ton style 2h du mat.
Always the connoisseur. She didn't even bother to look at it at first. She was so busy wafting it under her nose. Steamed up her glasses, of course. How was she going to see my work of art through an eye full of fog? When she finally spotted it, though, she was totally impressed. I'll admit, she spent several minutes trying to figure out exactly what it was I'd drawn. She decided it was probably a horse. Well, what she doesn't know won't hurt her. She was impressed enough to ask for another one. I guess I'll need to get some practice in. The whole thing was such hard work, Maria. I never realized how difficult it was, all that mechanical stuff. It made me realize how much I have to thank you for, so I wanted to say that now. Better latte than never. Hoping you're well. Your friend, Carmen.
Ah, ils sont réconciliés. Là, on a fini, c'est triste. Non. J'ai pas envie, mais il faut bien. Est-ce que du coup, ça fait effectivement 100% du jeu, comme disait Mazidra? Ou est-ce que Mazidra ment? Pas. Alors. Oh, attendez, Steam, il en veut plus. Ah oui, 100%. Tout à fait. Oh, c'était trop bien. Je trouve ça top. Top, top, top. Ils ont fait d'autres jeux. Alors, ils ont fait Monument Valley, bien entendu. Voilà, ça a l'air un peu plus vénère. Ok, en vrai, Monument Valley, on pourrait se faire ça en C4. Petit let's play là. 1 et 2, bang. Ah, ils ont fait Alba. Bah franchement, c'était trop bien. Petite pépite là.